Welcome to chemistry classes. In this video we are going to start new chapter general principles and process of isolation of elements. In this chapter we will study related to extraction of metals. Okay, different method, different process of extraction of metals. Okay, so here I told you here the topic name general principles and process of isolation of elements. We know there are different types of elements. Some of these elements exist in pure form. Some of the elements exist in the nature in native form. Native elements, example for native elements: silver, gold, platinum, carbon. Okay, this type of elements exist in native form. Native form means it will exist in pure form. Some of these elements exist. Some elements exist in the nature in combined form. For example, sodium chloride. Sodium, it exists in chloride form. Sodium chloride. Iron exists in iron oxide. Iron pyrites. Okay, or hematite, magnetite. These are the different form of iron. Copper exists in copper pyrites. Malachite. Zinc exists in zinc blend. So some of the elements exist in pure form. Such type of elements are called native elements. Example for native metals: some of the metals exist in pure form. Such type of metals are called native metals. Silver, gold, platinum. This type of metals are example for native metals. Okay. And here some of the metals exist in combined form. For example, I told you iron pyrites, copper, malachite, zinc blend. This type of metals exist in the nature in combined form. Combined form means this metal combined with another metals or another elements, that is combined form. Okay, here we have to understand some terms. Okay, here first one we have to understand here minerals. First term we have to understand here minerals. Minerals mean naturally occurring substance which contain metal part. Such type of substance called minerals. Naturally getting substance which contain metal part. For example, hematite. Hematite, it is naturally getting substance which contain iron part, that is mineral. Another example, bauxite. Bauxite, it is naturally getting substance, it contain aluminium, metal. So this type of substance called minerals. Minerals mean naturally getting substance which contain metal part. Clear? After minerals we have to understand another term, ore. Ore mean minerals from which metal can be extracted. We can produce metal from minerals. Such type of minerals are called ore. Okay, ore mean minerals from which metal can be extracted. Example for ore, bauxite. Bauxite is mineral from which aluminium can be extracted. So ore of aluminium is bauxite. Another example, hematite. Ore of iron is hematite. Okay, hematite is mineral from which iron can be extracted. So hematite is ore. So what do you mean by ore? Ore mean minerals from which metal can be extracted, metal can be produced. Okay, that is ore. Here another term we have to understand here, Gangue mean undesirable substance in ore which contain metal, impurities and another chemical content. Okay, so from ore we want metal. Also there is unwanted substance. Such type of unwanted substance are called gangue. Okay, impurities present in ore are called gangue. So here we learned three terms: minerals, ore and gangue. Minerals mean naturally getting substance which contain metal part called mineral. Next one, mineral from which metal can be extracted called ore. Third one, gangue, impurities or undesirable substance present in ore. Such type of undesirable substance are called gangue. Clear? These are the three different terms we have to understand here. So here we are studying here extraction and isolation of metal from its ore. So there are different steps to extract and isolation of metal from its ore. These are the different steps for extraction and isolation of metals. First step here, concentration of metals. Concentration of metals. Second step here, isolation of metal from its ore. Third one, purification of metals. We will study more details throughout this chapter. All this we have to go more details. Okay, so here these are the different steps for extraction and isolation of metal from its ore. First step, concentration of metal. Second one, isolation of metal from its ore. Third one, purification. Here we have to understand a term, metallurgy. Metallurgy, various technology, various technique and scientific process used for isolation of metal and the extraction of metal. This entire scientific and technological process used for this process called metallurgy. Metallurgy. Okay, next one we have to understand here occurrence of metals. Occurrence of metals. So see here different points we have to understand here. Aluminium is the most abundant metal in the earth crust. Aluminium is the most abundant metal. And here iron is the second most abundant metal in the earth crust. Aluminium is the most abundant metal and third most abundant element in the earth crust. Third most abundant element and most abundant metal, that is aluminium. And the second most abundant metal in earth crust, that is iron. Okay, so aluminium and iron. And here next one we have to understand here some important ore. Some important ore. We know the ore of aluminium is bauxite. The ore of aluminium is bauxite. Okay, and another one, ore of iron. Ore of iron, hematite, magnetite, hematite, magnetite and siderite. Siderite. Okay, these are the most important ore of iron. Okay, hematite, magnetite and siderite. Similarly here copper pyrites, malachite, cuprite. These are the different ores of copper. Copper, malachite, copper pyrites and cuprite. These are the different ores of copper. Zinc blende, calamine and zincite. Remember here zincite. We know zinc blende, calamine. Also remember zincite. This is the ore of zinc. Copper, malachite, cuprite, copper pyrites. These are the different ores of copper. Iron, hematite, magnetite, siderite. Remember iron, siderite, zinc, zincite. We know already aluminium is bauxite. So these are the some important ore. Also here you can see one list of ore and their formula. You can check it. Okay. One we have to discuss here concentration of ore. We already discussed here there are three different steps for extraction of metals and isolation of metal from its ore. There are three different steps. First step, concentration of ore. So we have to discuss more details about concentration of ore. There are many different steps, there are many different methods for concentration of ore. So first we have to look here, what is concentration of ore? Here concentration of ore means removal of unwanted substance from its ore. This process is called concentration of ore. We know ore mean minerals from which metal can be extracted, or which contain metal part. Also it contain undesirable substance, it contain impurities. So concentration of ore mean undesirable substance can be reduced and we can increase metal part. This process is called concentration of ore. There are different methods to concentrate ore. Here first one we have to discuss here, hydraulic washing. Hydraulic washing also called gravity separation, because this method depends on the gravity difference of metal part and impurities. Based on the difference between gravities of metal part and impurities. Okay. So here hydraulic washing means here a stream of water, a stream of running water. Here we will wash powdered ore. So lighter impurities will wash away and heavier metal part left behind. This method is called hydraulic washing. Hydraulic washing means there is a stream of water, there is a running stream of water and we will wash powdered ore. Powdered ore we will wash in running stream of water. Okay, so lighter impurities with a lightweight impurities will wash away and heavier metal part will stay over there. This method is called hydraulic washing. Okay, so hydraulic washing also called gravity separation, because here this method based on the difference in gravities of impurities and metal part. We have to discuss here magnetic separation. Second method to concentration of ore, second method, magnetic separation. Magnetic separation, this method based on the magnetic properties of different components in the ore. Okay, magnetic properties. Different components have different magnetic properties. Some of the components it will attract magnet, some of the magnet do not attract magnet. Based on this we can separate metal part and impurity. Okay, this is the basic principle here, magnetic separation. Here powdered ore will be carried on a belt and it will pass through a magnetic roller, and it will help to separate magnetic component and non-magnetic component. This method is called magnetic separation. Okay, so here this magnetic separation based on the magnetic properties, difference in magnetic properties. Okay, here ground ore is passed over a conveyor belt and this belt will pass over a magnetic roller. Okay, magnetic roller. Here powdered ore will pass through magnetic roller and it will help to separate magnetic component and non-magnetic component. This method is called magnetic separation. Clear? Next one we have to discuss here third method of concentration of ore, that is froth flotation. Froth flotation. This method used to concentrate sulfide ore. Sulfide ores are concentrating by froth flotation. In this method finely powdered ore mixing with water. After that some oil and collectors are added to this mixture. Then a rotating paddle agitates this mixture. After that a froth will be formed on the surface of mixture. This froth will be carry metal part. This froth will be skimmed out and dried to get pure metal. Okay, this is the basic method for froth flotation. Okay, so look here, different steps for froth flotation. I told you here concentration of sulfide ore. Sulfide ores are concentrating by this method. Okay, and here powdered ore mixed with water. Also, we had to add collectors and froth stabilizer, froth and okay, so see here, these are the different methods for froth flotation. Here I told you here sulfide ores are concentrating by this method. Sulfide ores are concentrating by froth flotation. Here fine powdered ore is mixing with water. Powdered ore mixed with water. After that we have to add some collectors. Collectors means suitable chemicals and froth stabilizer. Froth stabilizer collectors are added to this mixture. Okay, after that this mixture. Okay, after that here after mixing all this, here mineral part become wet with oil. Mineral part, we know, ore which contain mineral and impurities. So here mineral part wet with oil and impurities wet with water. Okay, and here a rotating paddle, you can see this figure, a rotating paddle agitate this mixture. Okay, after using this rotating paddle into this mixture, a froth formed on the surface of this mixture. That's why we used here froth stabilizer. Okay, then this froth is steamed out, removed into separate container. Then we have to dry, because here this froth formed with a metal part, lighter metal part. Okay, so this froth which contain metal part, then this froth is dry to get pure metal. Okay, so these are the different strategy we used in froth flotation. So remember here froth flotation used to concentrate sulfide ore. Okay, next one we have to understand here leaching. This is another method for concentration of ore. This method depends on the solubility of ore, solubility of metal content in suitable solvent. Clear? So here another method for concentration of ore, leaching. This method depends on the solubility of metal content in the ore in a suitable solvent. Example for leaching, alumina. We know the ore of aluminium is bauxite. Bauxite which contain impurities such as iron oxide and silica. Ore of aluminium, bauxite which contain impurities, iron oxide and silica. Okay, using suitable solvents such as sodium hydroxide, we can leach alumina from bauxite. Clear? So we will use sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide mix with bauxite at a high temperature and pressure. High temperature means 473 to 523 Kelvin. Also here 35 to 36 bar pressure also we will use. At this high temperature and pressure we will mix bauxite and sodium hydroxide. We know bauxite which contain alumina, Al2O3 alumina. This alumina will be dissolved in sodium hydroxide and form sodium aluminate. Alumina will dissolve in sodium hydroxide and form sodium aluminate. Okay, we know alumina, it is Al2O3 dissolved in NaOH form sodium aluminate. NaAlOH 4 times. This is alumina. This is sodium aluminate. NaAlOH 4 times. Okay. So here I said here we have example for leaching bauxite mixing with a suitable solvents such as sodium hydroxide. Okay, bauxite which contain bauxite which contain alumina, it will dissolve in sodium hydroxide and form sodium aluminate. This process takes place at a high temperature and pressure. High temperature means 473 to 523 Kelvin and 35 to 36 bar pressure. Okay, sodium aluminate formed. We know bauxite which contain impurities such as silica and iron oxide. Silica also dissolved in sodium hydroxide and form sodium silicate. But iron oxide and other impurities do not dissolve in sodium hydroxide. These undissolved impurities can be removed by filtration. Clear? So this is example for leaching. Sodium hydroxide, concentrated sodium hydroxide mixed with the bauxite at high temperature and pressure. Here alumina will dissolve and form sodium aluminate. Also silica will dissolve in sodium hydroxide and form sodium silicate. Sodium silicate. Iron oxide and other impurities can be removed by filtration. Clear? So here we mixed concentrated sodium hydroxide and bauxite and it formed sodium silicate. Sodium silicate and sodium aluminate. Both are dissolved form. Into this mixture we will pass carbon dioxide gas. After passing carbon dioxide gas into this mixture, hydrated aluminium oxide will be precipitated. Hydrated aluminium oxide. Hydrated aluminium oxide we can represent like this. Aluminium oxide means Al2O3 with H2O. This is hydrated. X represent X number of molecules. X represent number. Okay, so here X number of molecules, X number of water molecules will be there with aluminium oxide. This is hydrated aluminium oxide. This hydrated aluminium oxide will be precipitated after passing carbon dioxide gas into this mixture which contains sodium silicate and sodium aluminate. Sodium silicate still dissolved form. Okay, then we can remove hydrated aluminium oxide. It is precipitate. We can remove this by filtration. After dry, we will obtain pure form of aluminium oxide because it is hydrated aluminium oxide. After heating, water molecule will be evaporated and we will obtain aluminium oxide. Clear? So these are the different steps for leaching of bauxite. Okay, by this method we can remove silica and iron oxide from bauxite and we will obtain pure form of aluminium oxide. Clear? Look here, another example for leaching. Silver and gold also obtained by leaching. For leaching of silver, the suitable solvent, sodium cyanide used as suitable solvent. We will do this process in presence of air or in presence of oxygen. Okay, so another example for leaching silver and gold. Silver leaching with suitable solvent, sodium cyanide. Gold leaching happen in presence of potassium cyanide. For leaching of gold, suitable solvent, potassium cyanide, silver, sodium cyanide. Leaching of both of them happen in presence of air or oxygen. Okay, so in this video we discussed concentration of ore. There are different methods for concentration of ore. We did here hydraulic washing, magnetic separation. Also we did here leaching, froth flotation. These are the different methods for concentration of ore. Rest of the part we will discuss another video. Okay, thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for watching this channel. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos. Thank you.